Okay, shall we try a bit of stretching? So first, just pulling the shoulders back. Now pulling in the belly. Making it a bit bigger so it just becomes the breathing. It's very similar. Sense that I'm breathing with the spine. And turning with it. and reaching, pulling in the rope. And reaching up. And reaching to the sides. A good twist. Back to prayer and reaching up. The twist, the one hand behind, other hand on the opposite knee, and pulling yourself round gently. And the other side. And the other side again. And the other side. and then back to prayer. And the figure of 8. Hands together. And now just the leaning. Using the arms to protect the back. Then both hands on one knee. And now sort of leaning to the corner. And swap around. And then back to prayer. The most important word in Tai Chi is listening. So I daren't go too quick, otherwise I'm going to miss things. There's a sense that I'm turning through a medium that is always slowing me down. And then same thing, but the two circles. So when we do the two circles, we're getting a sense of yielding. Yielding means that you're making a hole for the other person to fall into, to come into. And the hole is inside yourself or inside your space. I'm drawing the person in here, but I'm also drawing the ground up to there. Yielding with my arm, but also yielding with my leg. Yielding to the other person with the arm, yielding to the ground with the leg. So this space here in the groin has to open up a little bit. That's where the hole is. So what that means is that the action which produces that opening is the movement of my knee. My heel coming up a little bit or loosening, and my knee going out opens this space and causes the suction effectively, which produces the yield. So as this opens, it sucks my hand in towards it, and it sucks me towards the ground because it's trying to pull that ground up. I want to feel that. I feel that not so much as an activity, more like a softening. So something here softens. The same way, they talk about hollow chest. So my chest softens to allow the other person to come in. So when you give someone a hug, you're not just physically making a container for the other person to come into. Something in you emotionally is changing. And they will feel that, yeah. So they will feel the sincerity of your hug. So that's the feeling here. All of our yielding has to come from the heart. So this is why in Yang Shoujiang's famous book, or was it Yang Cheng Fu, The Applications of Tai Chi Chuan, he always says, every time he describes an application, he says, the first thing you must do when you're attacked is hollow your chest. So it's an action of the heart. Something in you has to accept, has to just break open and accept what's happening and not try and resist it. And that's yielding. That's the yielding impulse that will start the opening, which becomes an embrace. So it's not an opening like this. It's an opening like this that pulls the chest in and extends the arms behind the other person. Yeah, so it's hollow chest, but we want that to really manifest here. I mean, it starts here. It has to be something, you feel something in the heart breaks, but you are well enough trained so that it happens here in the groin as well. So we feel it in the heart softening and opening, almost becoming tearful. But we also feel it in the knee. The knee goes out, which is sufficient to get something happening in the groin as well as something happening in the heart. The knees and the heart are completely connected. Good. And now let's just settle into riding horses. So we settle into riding horse to really to get back to the sinking. That's like the ground, the background, the sort of the space, but also the ground beneath our feet, of course. You want to feel it flowing, especially down the back, into the heels, which feel like they're melting into the ground. So you want your softness, your gooey softness to soften whatever you touch. So it's softening the ground, feels like the ground is becoming unstable and I'm seeping into it. If I was to touch the wall, I would feel it softening the wall so that there can be some bleed in and out. And now let's turn towards the corner and just go backwards and forwards. So keeping the waist pretty much facing the corner. You can turn your front toes out a little bit so that they're still angled in compared to the diagonal. So feeling the two actions of the legs. So the leg claims me, pulls me, the foot pulls me back into that piece of ground, and it also bounces me out. So it's springy. This is like the contracting bungee rubber, and this is the trampoline that's bounding me back out. sort of being sucked. Imagine an elastic band, you stretch it and then it pulls itself back together. That's how we want to feel the legs. Obviously, it's not elastic, so we have to bend the joints to give the feeling of elasticity, but it feels elastic. Here it's stretching, and then I just let it contract. It pulls back, and now here it really compresses and it wants to bounce me out. So I just let that happen. And of course, the two legs are working together. So as one is compressing, the other one is stretching. So whenever I'm moving from one leg to the other, both legs are always working. One is pulling me, the other one is pushing me. But I need to work on them separately to clarify the situation so it doesn't get muddy and clingy. So this is stretched, it pulls me back. The back leg stretches and pulls me back. And again, it has an emotional feeling. You're connected to everything by threads, especially the people in your life. When you leave them, that thread is getting stretched. So there's what it's like when you bid someone farewell. It's sad, assuming you don't want to see the back of them. Something is being stretched, and then it calls me back. So we just want to feel that, oh, it's getting tender, tender, tender. Suffer not a breach, but an expansion, like gold to airy thinness beat. And then turning to the other corner. Now I have my right foot forwards. Then when the thing stretches, it becomes straight. And when it contracts, it becomes round. Yielding is a becoming round, and attacking is a becoming straight. Okay, and then back to the front again. And just feel it settling down. Feel the sacrum. It has to jump from either side of the sacrum into the backs of the hips. Okay, now let's try a little bit of this one. So the legs always bend. So one side is doing one thing, the other side is doing the other. One side is straightening, one side is bending. This is how the human body wants to work. And then just try the little jog. Trying to stay on the front of the foot. As the feet have to become quite strong. Feel the sacrum, like a pendulum. The feeling that you're held here and your sacrum is swinging a little from side to side with these leg movements. Okay. And now just lifting the foot. Feel that outside edge. This whole sort of outside edge of your body. It's like a skin, like an elastic skin that you sort of lean into. So the foot resting on my knee just helps move me in this direction. So I feel like I'm nestling into this skin. And because it's elastic, it has energy and it can always spring me back out. just watch the mind. Yeah. So there's your relaxed, joyful mind, which just wants to rest and flow in this direction. And then there's the fearful, anxious mind that tends to pull in this way to get the other foot on the ground to give you more stability. And we just watch those two minds. Every now and then you get a bit anxious and you'll find yourself doing this. And we just want to feel the ground. The ground is really the relaxed, joyful. There's a sense of me drifting in this direction all the time. Lifting the foot. And as though you're going to step forwards to the side and back. So you just put the toes out like you're dipping your toes in the water. You just feel it. In order to extend the leg, you have to bend the other leg. And also you have to move your center of gravity slightly. So if I'm going to extend my foot out the front, my center of gravity needs to move back a little bit because my leg is quite heavy. And then if I send it this way, my center of gravity has to move to the right a little bit. And then stepping back is difficult. So here, you need to lean forwards a little bit, really. Yeah, and just feel it on the supporting leg. It really works the supporting leg. So I'm extending the foot. I don't actually put the foot down. I just sort of touch the ground with my toe. I mean, you can put the foot down, but no weight in it. It's an exercise really for the supporting leg. So here I'm bending this leg a little bit, and now I straighten it. I bend it, I straighten it, I bend it, straighten, bend, straight. And again, just feel the mind and the spirit. To extend that foot out, something in you has to wake up and take a risk. And just lifting the knee, pull it up a little bit to try and get some action in the lower back and the sacrum. That shot of Iyengar, and he's standing like this, but he's actually wrapped this leg behind his neck. You can imagine how that would feel. And it's good doing this lying down as well. You know, obviously, when you're lying down, you don't have the balance problem, and you can really pull the foot up, get the spine bowing. Now the foot behind, so pulling it into the buttock. Yeah, so all these balance exercises, they're great because as soon as your mind gets distracted and starts thinking to itself, you fail, you'll lose your balance. That's what we want, exercises that make it very clear when we're allowing our mind to wander. Okay, and now let's finish. So, gliding forwards, flowing down the back. And bringing it up. So the more relaxed, the more melty you become. In a sense, the more sunk you are, but also everything becomes a little bit liquid. So you'll be helped by the sinking, but your balance will be compromised by that melting quality. So that's why I always say to students, when they start falling and getting wobbly, I say, look, it's a good sign. You don't want to have good balance because you become stiff and rigid. So it's always got this movement, this feeling of slipping and it's about to fall over.